lẽ rồi hi lẽ ha hi hey ôi hey hey
I studied journalism and started making films with a couple of friends. Really, we learnt mostly completely on the job. And we made a lot of films for NGOs in Madras and Tamil Nadu. At that point, I made a film about this Malayalam writer called Vaikom Muhammad Bashir, based on whose stories we had been doing plays. After that, I think I started getting interested in making films about performance, film performance. About music, things like that, and that sort of was where I was when we started off this journey together, to make films that really looked at work songs, the way people bring music into their daily lives. So we do a lot of work we've been filming around the country, looking at ways in which people bring music, performance and rhythm into their everyday lives.
我这点 TV 是那个吧。
For various reasons, we decided to just start traveling and seeing the country together. When we started traveling, because both of us are in performance, both of us are part of a play group, we were really interested in going and meeting musicians, performers, going to new spaces and seeing it through the eyes of people there, rather than just through the sights and sounds of the place. We ended up doing a lot of interviews with performers and musicians, as well as trying to film people not so much on stage but in their homes. So we were meeting people who were either singing at home or who would do a little bit of what they did performatively for us. And that started being really interesting for us, rather than looking at people on stage. And in this process, we landed up in a place called Spiti, in the Spiti Valley, and we were filming with a musician called Tulku Ji there. And on one day when we didn't have time to meet him, or he didn't have time for us rather, we ended up just walking around in the Spiti Valley, and we came across a group of farmers who were at work. They were sowing barley, and while they were sowing, we found that we were watching them from a distance, that they had this incredible rhythm with which they were working. And we decided to go closer and look at it, and we realized that they were singing while they were working. And this really did something to us.
Basically, most of the films that you work on are based on travel, some form of travel. So tell a little bit about what travel is to you, how do you travel, how do you like to travel, what works, what doesn't work.
There have been times when we've worked on something, on a film, on a project where one has to just, hire a taxi, get into it, get to the place, finish the shoot, get back. But that really has been the thing with the least amount of memory for me, because the entire process of getting to the place, meeting people along the way, discussing what you're doing with people along the way, a lot of ideas of what we would film has come from travel, of getting to a place and finding out about that place even before we get there, of speaking to the other co-passengers who tell you their stories of wherever you're getting to, or who tell you what you should see. I think that's half the joy of filming. When we started off, we did a sort of informal crowdfunding to raise money for our journey, for our filming, and that sort of became our first audience for our film, because we had sent out this email asking anybody who wanted to support our travels to just send in whatever they could. And we felt that to keep engaged with them, we should keep putting out at least small snippets of our work, little bit of footage. And also whenever we landed up in a place, we started doing small screenings of whatever we had filmed up to that point. The response of people has been really amazing. I think a lot of what we filmed has come from people reacting as well to our work. So people saying, oh, look at this work song here, I have heard of this other thing happening in Kutch, or you must really go see this. In fact, this what we're filming right now in Nagaland, the film that we're putting out, came because of such a screening. We did a screening in a school in Peck where this film is based, and the school students looked at this footage of farmers working in Spiti and said, oh, we have the same thing here, you should go into our fields and film there. And that's where our film began. So I think a lot of our work has really come from screening. So in Peck, once we found out that this is something we really wanted to film, the work songs in the paddy fields, we started, and this is quite similar to our process of filming everywhere. We make sure we're there at the time when the work happens.
Work songs are not very well documented in the sense that you can't find out that this thing happens here in this season. We usually land up in some place and chat with people and say what happens here, and they say nothing really important or whatever. So that's when you show them edits, and then they realize that, oh, okay, so this is the kind of things you're looking at. Then they suggest, oh, by the way, we have songs for honey hunting, or oh, when we go out fishing, there are sometimes songs over there. But you've come in the wrong season. You have to come like 8 months later. So we're like, oh, okay, then we'll note it down saying, okay, come back here in this month and then look for it.
So we began this particular film in Nagaland in late 2011 is the first time we saw the music there, and in 2013 we got a grant from the India Foundation for the Arts to actually start working on it in a sustained manner, and that has really, that's the money that's really kind of sustained us till now in terms of doing the work in Peck. And through that we've filmed over several seasons of work in Peck, going back to film the planting, the harvest, the cleaning of the fields, the weeding, all of that, and in between going back to do all the other kinds of filming that we needed to fill out the film. We've done 3 different at various stages we did edits of the film, and very initially we thought it was going to be a non-verbal film, but at some point we realized that's not working, and although it is a film that can be visually itself, it can hold strongly, we really felt the need for the voices of the people there in the film. So we decided it's not going to be non-verbal. We are going to include interviews and in the last 6 months or so we've arrived at a place where we have a pretty strong rough cut of the film, and we now are going into post-production in terms of sound, color, and we're working with this service called Rough Cut Service. Right now we've raised about, I would say, 30 to 40% of what we need for the post-production, and it's that bit more that we need to essentially pay people professionally for the work that they're helping us to do. And we really would like it if people can support us and help us raise the money for this, and contributions of absolutely any amount will be welcome. Right through this process, I think our work has really been enriched by really small, many small contributions, and those are really valuable to us, and also help us spread the word.